Now, to show people why they were stupid and compliant during 2019, 2020, when the government told them, put this in your body without thinking about it, I learned not to trust them because of that day. In the aftermath of the towers collapsing, half my school dropped out. That's a time where I should have worn a mask.
Right.
Because it actually works for particles and dust and pollutants, not to keep it from a virus. You're not going to protect yourself. I don't care who you are. There's a reason why we have biohazard suits, right? But the air, I'll never forget that smell. I knew something was wrong. I lead a walkout. The rest, I said, there's something wrong with this air. The president at the time, his name was Caputo, calls me and he's like, listen, I understand you're concerned. He's like, but you called an EPA. They started showing me all these charts. It was under the lead of the former governor of New Jersey, Christine Todd Whitman. She ended up becoming the head of the EPA under Bush. And they showed me all these charts. I'm not there to cause trouble. I'm just concerned for me and my fellow classmates. Look, we got the HEPA filters. Here's this result. You guys are good. I said, okay, I'll call it off. So I called it off. 10 years later, trusted a 3-letter agency for my health, for my fellow classmates' health, for my fellow New Yorkers' health. 10 years later, 3-letter agency issues an apology. Pull it up. Christine Todd Whitman apologizes. Good. 10 years later, apologizes. We made a mistake. The air wasn't safe. They opened up a multi-billion-dollar fund. More people died trusting that 3-letter agency that we were safe than died in the back.
Wow.
What's her name?
Christine Todd Whitman. Just put EPA apologizes for 9/11 air quality. What else you want to know, brother? 30 more firefighters just died this year from illnesses still from that respiratory stuff. This year, they added them to the list of people killed in 9/11. What else you want to know, brother? You think they were going to stop Wall Street for more than a couple of weeks to clean it up back then? When do you wake up as Americans? When do we realize that the government is way too big? This is almost communist-like right now. And they're coming for all of us. They'll come for the Muslims first, you fools, and then you're next. And they'll use the Muslims as your bait so they can take your rights, take away your right to bear arms, take away your right to have free speech. There needs to be an amendment to the U.S. Constitution that social media is the new public square. I don't give a shit if they're privately owned or publicly owned. Their influence on society, as we all witnessed in 2019 and 2020, that we couldn't even talk without being censored about what we're putting into our bodies. And you want to talk to me about home of the free, land of the brave?